It's been a long day. It's been a long couple of weeks up until elections. And of course, the results are almost in, still being audited, some of it. But let's get the bigger picture. To discuss some of these, I'm joined now by eNCA's election analyst, Joubert. You know, we've looked at the rock the entire day at that leadership board to see who's winning, who's losing. But there are smaller parties, and I say smaller, you know, because of the percentages we're seeing, like the Freedom Front Plus, for instance, that's actually growing, and they've been growing over the past couple of elections.
Absolutely so, and one would ask oneself why. They were stuck on 3 and 4 seats in Parliament for almost 20 years, and then a new dynamism arrived in the person of the leader, Dr. Pieter Groenewald, and he has somehow structured that party so that people can identify with it easier. What we are seeing is that the Freedom Front Plus grows because of 2 reasons mathematically. They take voters away from the Democratic Alliance. That was in 2019, that was about 350,000 people. And then also, they get support from people who stopped voting in 1994, people on the far right wing. They have an excellent social media platform, and they have ways of getting into those far right social media worlds where you and I don't venture, and they are harvesting those votes. Also, they have a very disciplined approach to politics. You will not see the Freedom Front in that way, and now I'm going to be absolutely slaughtered by Afrikaans-speaking people, but in that way, they are very much like the EFF.
Yeah.
They are a disciplined unit.
Yeah, they would definitely not like hearing that. So let's talk about the bigger parties now, because we've seen the ANC, the Democratic Alliance, lose ground, but they still come out and they say, we're doing pretty well, we still have the majority here and there. And leaders are basically saying it's not defeat, we haven't lost anything. But it is a huge indictment on their leaders and what they've been doing where they rule, isn't it?
Depends. Basically, you're also referring, amongst others, to the DA and its position in Cape Town. So where they are claiming victory, where they have lost a heck of a lot of support. Yeah. They were at 66% under Ms. de Lille. Things have changed, they're now on 58%. Why are they so happy? Because they expected to fare so much worse. Everything in life is relative.
Yeah.
Bit of Marxism this time of night. If your neighbour's house is big and your house is average, your house seems small. It's almost the same in reverse. If your result is so much better than you thought it would be, then you're happy. So we saw in the Western Cape 2 sort of dogs clawing at the DA, and a lot of small dogs as well. The 2 big dogs were the Freedom Front, who backed Cape independence. I roll my eyes, but anyway, they got their votes. And then secondly, the Good Party, which really thought that they would take a lot of coloured votes from the DA. It seems to me, and we're going to do deep drills into this, but it seems to me as if many of those good voters, who really predominantly are from the coloured community, are formerly ANC supporting coloured voters rather than DA supporting ones.
Yeah, because the Cape Coloured Congress also did pretty well there, didn't they?
They did well, and it's a new grouping. It's an extremely activist grouping. I would almost say, not in structure, but in conduct, an anarchist grouping. Yeah. They are on the extreme side of the coloured nationalist groupings, but there are many of them, Patriotic Alliance, ICOSA and the like. They do have supporters and members who are not coloured nationalists, but they are strongly pushed by a coloured nationalist agenda.
All right, I have about a minute left, so let's talk about comparing elections.
Yes,
important point. Can you compare this election to the 2019 national election? Because that was raised by the Democratic Alliance today. They tried to do that today.
Look, you can compare anything with anything, but you cannot compare anything with anything logically. So let's have a look at the logic here. Why is it illogical? And we've traversed this before. It's not about the DA. It's about any political party that's losing. Tries to explain it away. There's a difference between a national and provincial election, mathematically, the figures, and a local government election, because in a national and provincial election, you and I and everyone else each gets 2 ballots. In a local government election, if you live in a metro, you get 2 ballots. if you live outside a metro, you get 3 ballots. That means it is not a fair reflection because the rural vote is weighted 1.5 to 1 against the urban vote. It's a nonsense to try and create some sort of equation among something which doesn't, between two groups that are not equal. It's apples and apples, pears with pears. Apples are 2019, pears are 2016 and 2021.
Yeah, I guess anyone will say anything to try to calm themselves down, maybe, especially when they're losing ground. Joubert, thank you so much for your time. Appreciate it. Always a pleasure. The eNCA's election analyst there, Joubert.